All right, what we've got mounted up here this week, this is a piece of maple that my dad gave me. It was quite irregular shaped, but what I thought I might try to do is turn him a little carving mallet. He's into a little bit of wood carving. He said primarily most of his carving tools are hand tools right now, so he doesn't necessarily need a mallet. But I thought since this piece is only at the widest about 2 3/4, so at the very best, by the time I get it rounded out, I'm gonna have 2 5/8 diameter for the head of the mallet, and ideally probably would like to have a minimum of 3. But since we're a little bit smaller and most of his tools are hand tools anyways, so he's not gonna really need a bigger, more suitable actual carving mallet at this point, I figured we'd try to turn him one, and being a little smaller and the finer work he does, he can at least have a chance to test it out, see what he likes about what we come up with and what he would like to see different. So let's get to turning. I'm going to start off getting this roughed down. My lathe speed right now, because this is such an irregular shape, I can only get about 670 right now before I start getting vibrations on the lathe. Up to about 950, 1000 now. There, I got about 1530 now on the lathe speed. Yeah, I think we got that. See if I can clean that up a little bit with the skew. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera yet or not. Some really pretty figure going on in this piece right here. Some tiger stripe or fiddleback, depending on what part of the country you're from, they call it different things, but some really pretty stuff going on right there. Really need to get a bigger set of calipers, better for wood turning. Yeah, see there, I think that is the thickest part right there, and I'm at 2 11/16, so just a hair under where I wanted to be. and I'm gonna have to do a little bit of work on that and sanding. So not quite as good as I wanted to, but we'll keep going with it. As far as sizing of this thing goes, my dad's hands are basically about the size my hands are. So since I don't have him here, I'm gonna use my hand for sizing on this thing. I figured I would probably leave, I don't know, I'm scared. I know that 4 inches is gonna be too small. I'm scared that 4.5 may still be too small, but I'm afraid 5 may be too big. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to size this at 4.5 right now, and I'll leave extra room on the head of the mallet. I'm gonna make this side the head because of this knot here, 2 knots. So I'm gonna make this side the head of the mallet. Hopefully by the time we get the handle part turned down, those knots will go away. I don't want to have those weak points in the mallet. So I think if I start trying to size this bead on the end so the thing doesn't slide out of my hand when you're using it, and then 4.5, but if we have to cheat it up to 5, double that makes a 10 inch. So we'll try sizing this at 4.5 and see how that feels once we get a bunch of this stock removed. See if that feels like there's enough room in there without being tight on the hand, but not so much that there's a lot of slop. And if that feels too small still, I've got room there, and I've still got plenty of room to quote unquote double the overall length from your hand length. I'm not gonna continue that mark around right now until we get some of this gone and see how that feels. The other part of what's going on, some of the other videos I've watched on making a mallet, it seems, at least any of them that gave any dimensions, down here on the handle at the bottom of your hand, I'm going to try to get that down to about a 7/8. Up here down to about 1 inch, and then right in the center about 1.25 inches, so that you've got a swell in the middle there where that'll fit in your palm better. So roughly there needs to be 1.25 inches. I'm going to come on this side of that line, try to get that down to 7/8 and get down to 1 inch here. I'll use a beading parting tool and try to just get that down first, and then I can come back with the spindle roughing gouge and get a bunch of that meat out of there. Well, done already messed that up and got that too small. Okay, that end isn't too bad. Alright, sorry about that. Battery died on me. I did go ahead and get that finished down. As I mentioned earlier, I got this too small. This is just actually a hair smaller than this end. This did come out at 7/8. I've got 1.25 inch swell there in the middle. That feels pretty good in my hand. Although never having used a carving mallet myself, I'm not sure what it should feel like. I'm gonna go ahead now and like I said, that feels pretty good. And I had 4.5 there, so we're gonna mark that for another 4.5. Actually, I'm gonna give it a hair more because I want to be able to put a cove in this transition here. This part of the web of your hand, you know, is a convex shape. So I want to have a concave shape at the transition there. So I got to leave enough room to make a little bit of a cove on that. Which if I'd have been thinking ahead, I'd have figured that in to the length of the handle itself, because now my handle spacing is going to end up a little bigger, but we'll go with it. So for the head, I'm going to put a slight taper into this, taper from the outside down in here. I'm not sure how much I should taper. I'm just gonna go until it looks about right. And then I'll also be turning the tail of the handle down and attempting to put a little bit of a bead on that. Well, that's what happens when you try to use a tool that you're not used to using a lot. I have not used the spindle gouge very much at all. And now I'm going to have to change the taper on this mallet to get rid of that catch. Gonna try this spindle gouge one more time, see if I can't get that transition good and clean now. We'll see. Well, on this project, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get with the tools. I think I'm going to switch over to sanding. I'd like to say I could start at 100 or 150, but I don't think I can. I'm going to have to start back at 80. I won't make you guys watch all of that. We'll come back when we're ready to put some finish on this and then get it off the lathe. Okay, so I forgot to turn the camera on when I put the coat of sanding sealer on, which was just the same as the sanding sealer I put on my first lidded box, which if you haven't seen that video, you should check that one out. The sanding sealer is just a simple store-bought shellac cut 50-50 with denatured alcohol. As far as my sanding, I only sanded up through 320. Being a mallet, I didn't figure there was a whole lot of point in going any finer than that with the sandpaper. But I'm going to denib it now and then put, just going to use Axe polish and restoring paste as the finish over the sanding sealer. Alright, there's that. Beautiful, beautiful figure in that maple. Even just sanded to 320 and a wax finish. I don't know how well you guys can see that with this camera and this lighting, but beautiful. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this parted off and get the ends of it finished up. Alright, so we have it all finished up. Here it is. Still loving the outstanding grain in this piece. As I mentioned before during the video, I got the handle a little too thin right through here. Should be about an inch, and I'm actually a little smaller than 7/8. I'm smaller than the end of the handle here. Another thing I should have done, I should have left a little bit of a cove on this end of it too. But overall, I can't say that I'm disappointed in it. I just hope my dad likes it. So, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment. I try to respond to everything. And share this video with your friends. I'm Wes Hanna with Piedra Designs. Thank you. One more thing before I go. This probably will be my last video for a couple of weeks at least. My busy month of October is finally catching up with me. The good news is Tessa has finally recorded her first video. We're in the middle of editing that now. So we're going to shoot for a Monday or Tuesday upload of her videos for now anyways. Thank you.